Hello and welcome back to another video right here on the F1 Journal. Now I think we can all agree F1 have had some pretty tragic rules over its time, as much as we love the sport. So today I thought it'd be a good time to count down some of the worst rules F1 has ever had. Number 10, double points. This was seen at the 2014 Abu Dhabi GP, the final race of the season. The idea was to keep the championship alive until the final race, as it aimed to combat dominant performances from a team or a driver early in the season. However, there were some obvious flaws. The year it was used saw Hamilton and Rosberg battle each other for the championship. Hamilton, under normal circumstances, would have won the championship before the finale in Abu Dhabi. However, with double points, he risked losing the championships altogether if he didn't finish and Rosberg won, which the opposite happened, of course. Also, why Abu Dhabi is worth double points more than every other race is a bit of a mystery. Number 9, grooved tyres. These new tyres were introduced in 1998 and were hated until their death at the end of 2008. They were brought in to reduce cornering speed of the cars by reducing the contact patch of the tyre. Many drivers were critical at the time of it and feel it gave them a poorer car. The tyres did not make a huge difference, especially with the development war between Bridgestone and Michelin, which made the tyres faster. Number 8, aggregate qualifying. The first, but certainly not the last qualifying rule to be mentioned in the list. Aggregate quali was introduced in 2005 to solve a problem that didn't exist. It meant the drivers did 2 one-shot laps, one on low fuel and one with their race low fuel. An aggregate time was taken from the two. Surprisingly, this ridiculously complicated idea was scrapped before the end of the season. Number 7, narrow track cars. As well as introducing grooved tyres in 1998, the FIA made the cars narrower. They certainly look quite strange in comparison to the 1997 cars and those predecessors. Although everyone did just about get used to it, it must be said that the wider cars we have from 2017 onwards are very much better. Number 6, DRS. I know this will be a controversial one, and some fans may like it because it increases overtaking when overtaking doesn't certainly happen too often. However, I'm not a fan. It is a pretty false way of overtaking another driver, in my honest opinion. Formula 1 isn't necessarily always about overtaking. Some races are memorable for their lack of overtaking. Imagine a Monaco Grand Prix back in 1992, watched it the other day, where Mansell blasts past Senna because of DRS. Just wouldn't be the same, would it? Number 5, elimination qualifying. This one only lasted for 2 races, I believe, so it's hard to remember this one. At the beginning of 2016, for some reason, the FIA decided that qualifying needed changing. However, in everyone's opinion, it didn't, and it still doesn't now, so why they're going on about reverse qualifying, I have no idea. The timer elimination in quali meant that we ended up with a partial ending to Q3, whereby the pole position man was already out of his car with 3 minutes of the session left because no one else could set a time. Very, very weird and pointless. Number 4, full credit qualifying. It's another qualifying. Full credit quali was also a massive write-off. When the present format of qualifying was introduced in 2006, there was a massive flaw with what is overall a actually good way to carry out qualifying. The top 10 fastest drivers were going to Q3 and then spend 15 minutes burning fuel before they set their lap times. They would then get that fuel back before the race, which is just really weird and a stupid rule. And thankfully it's gone now, so that's good. Number 3, closed pit lane during the safety car. This really was a shocker of a rule used during 2007 and 2008. When the safety car was deployed, the pit lane would close shortly after until all the cars had lined up behind one another. Then the pit lane was reopened, although the exit wasn't. This saw the famous collision between Hamilton and Raikkonen in Montreal in 2008. It was so unfair to a driver that needed to refuel. He could just run out of fuel, obviously, and would have to box when the pit lane was closed and earn a stop-go penalty. They really didn't think that one through. Number 2, the fastest lap points. This rule was introduced during 1950s era of F1, right at the beginning. It didn't last long, as inaccurate timing systems, basically stopwatches, led to its undoing. For example, at the 1954 British Grand Prix, 7 different drivers were awarded the single point between them for posting the fastest race lap of 1 minute 50. All earned 0.14 points, which is madness. So, Fangio finished on 51.14 points, for example. I mean, it just sounds wrong. And it came back for F1 at the beginning of this year, and I'm going to be honest, I don't really like it. I hate gimmicks in F1, and it just feels wrong, really. And I hope they make a decision to scrap it. That'd be greatly appreciated, FIA. And number 1, the V6 hybrid engines. These shouldn't be in F1 just because the engines are road relevant. They aren't, and it shouldn't matter anyway. F1 is about racing. It is a show. It is a sport. Yes, a technological one too, I appreciate, but I can't count many fans that like the sound of these quiet engines. We want V10 back, the glorious loud beast. Let's stop using V6 engines and go back to the glory days. And that is it for today, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Link to Twitter in the description below for daily F1 news. Let me know in the comments what you think F1's worst ever rules were, and subscribe to my other channels on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.